Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Inbox Insights. We are filming this on Tuesday, the 11th of March. As always, Will, it's great to have you join me.
Yeah, thanks for having me, John. Another fun one.
Shall we kick right off with this one then? Because I think the first topic we're going to talk about is one that is close to your heart. I know clients bring it up a lot, and I know you have pretty solid thought process around this. So the subject is optimization. And I guess, yeah, just for background, what we mean here is making changes to, flows, campaigns, pop-ups, A/B testing different variables. What are your thoughts, Will?
Yeah, I think it's super important to define that as well. So it is all of that stuff where you've got a baseline, and what you're trying to do now is you're trying to put other things into the equation, swap things out, and basically test for something that's going to work better. And the reason that I love this word so much, or when people bring it up, because I think it's so misunderstood on what it actually means. So it sounds cool to say the word optimization, but oftentimes it's such a like if I came in and I said let's optimize, like people's jaws would hang up and be like, what do you mean? Like I don't know what that means. But yeah, in any case, so specifically for email, and if you're thinking of doing some sort of optimization, there are a lot of different levels that you can do this on, but there are a couple of places that it's going to work better. And I'd say that the place that is going to go work the best for email is stuff that is permanent. So you're talking about your flows, your pop-ups, and any automations that you have. That's where optimization and putting in effort is actually going to be worthwhile. You can do it for campaigns, but like it's all to do with stock levels, the time of year, the season, if you're launching something, if you've got new products versus old products. And like I'd say rather start with flows, and it's really, really simple. So what you're trying to do is just get an incremental increase on what's already working. And there's a couple of metrics that we always look at for email marketing, which is basically open rates, click rates, and like conversions. And I'd say just start in that exact order. So when you're, for instance, looking at your welcome flow, what you might want to do is just as a start, and to not muddy the waters and run too many tests at once, because that can also just lead to like results being unactionable or unclear on what actually made the difference. Like literally just test 3 different subject lines for your first email all the way up until the end. Like that is a good, worthwhile test to do. Something that you might want to try as well, a really good place to start, is with your pop-up and the offer that you have. But again, it's all like test one thing at a time, and then actually, like once the test is concluded, like then you have something valuable. Like you actually have, like that all the subject lines in your welcome email are the best performing, and then pick the next thing. This is all about iterations and trying different things, but it's fun if you're doing it with like intent. But if you're just testing for testing's sake, then yeah, not much point to it. I don't know. Does that line up with what you think, Jordan?
Yeah, I would agree. I feel like a lot of brands go and speak to agencies who throw around, oh, you should be A/B testing or optimizing more. And like you said, it's get the basics there and get them right first before you even think about this, and then make sure that you're getting enough traffic, which is why we say, focus on, the pop-up and the flows, because that's where you're going to have the biggest leverage. The only other thing I'd really add to what you said is, in the flows, in terms of what can we optimize, I think, it's focus on the key flows, so the welcome, abandoned cart, post-purchase. Things to test are subject lines, as you said, Will, but also the time delays between the messages. So maybe, split test your first abandoned cart message going out 15 minutes after abandoned cart versus 30 minutes. Look at the impact of that. And then also the offer in those emails and the messaging around that. I think on the campaign side, the only thing that we would kind of look at doing, yes, the subject line, like you said, also, looking at optimizing deliverability. But really it's research on the topics that work, and the templates of which you're sending to try and get increased clicks, right?
Yeah, pretty much. Once you start testing your flows as well, the information that you find out there or the results of that test can inform your campaigns too, but they're more valuable inside an automation that's running 24/7, 365 than trying something completely new on a single campaign that, like if you're if you're thinking about split testing an Easter like sequence of emails, like just don't. It's not going to be as valuable as like figuring out your welcome flow and testing stuff against that and optimizing that. So yeah,
To focus on the highest leverage items, right, that are getting the most traffic through.
yeah, pretty much.
For sure. Okay. I think then the next kind of topic we want to talk about is something that I kind of read this morning. I'm not 100% sure if it's true. It may be kind of Twitter gossip, but it did look like it came from a credible source. This again is kind of, harping on about our point on cleaning your list and deliverability. Email providers like Gmail and Yahoo will allegedly start deleting inactive email accounts. Will, do you want to say a quick few words on that?
Yeah, I mean, like just basic principle, make sure that you're emailing people who are actually worth emailing. So, and I think this also ties back to the update that Klaviyo did a little while ago, where you are now paying for people who are technically active on your list, but you can manage that. And obviously, the most aggressive version of that is that you basically just delete everyone off your list that hasn't opened an email within like the last 30 days. But just pick a cut off and be like, okay, I can kind of like, I can reasonably expect that anyone who hasn't opened my emails in the last 6 months, I don't want to be paying for them to be active on my like Klaviyo account. And yeah, I mean, I don't know. Do you think that means that if these profiles or these emails get deleted, they're just going to start hard bouncing and that's how we'll see it show up?
Yeah, so I was going to
Yeah.
say, like, obviously at one end of the spectrum is what you're suggesting, but you for sure should be, removing all hard bounces, setting up spam filters for bots and the like, and kind of removing those as well, right?
Yeah. All good ideas. Yeah.
Okay. Moving on to the final point on the list, we have obviously our offsite coming up in next week. Wow, that is very quick. I was going to say in the next couple of weeks, and then I looked at my calendar and I realized it's next Thursday. But yeah, I think the point here is, like, obviously we work kind of remotely and online. Most of our clients, the same. And I think, that's great. It's got a lot of benefits, but I don't think you can beat like the in-person vibe and for building connection, right? So I think that's kind of one of the key reasons we're doing that. And I'm also starting to do kind of more events as well. And I think going forward, we want to do regular company offsites once or twice a year, for the full team as well. This one will just be, 4 team leaders, but going forward, we want to have everyone involved, and also kind of more events with partners, clients, and the like. Anything to add on
Yeah.
that, Will?
No, I think it's there's just a sort of different level of like the relationships. I don't know. It's not that they necessarily feel like not real, but I think they'll probably feel a lot more real once you actually realize that there's like a real person, like a full person, and not just a head, like on
Not an
a
AI
webcam.
operator.
Exactly. Yeah. So the question that I wanted to ask you, like, what's the best outcome? So let's say that we have the offsite, and what do you think what things are you looking for, or your best outcome for the offsite?
I think first, just hopefully it goes without a hitch, right? Like, I think there's been a lot of kind of admin from, Noel and other people behind the scenes. So I'd like to have no headaches. I think that's number one. But I think beyond that, it's just kind of making sure we get along properly as a team and we can use the time. Yes, we want to have fun and we've got some activities and stuff lined up, but also to kind of plan for the future, and really drive the kind of business forward. So yeah, I would say those are the kind of two main ones. But really, I just hope there's no headaches.
No, I think if we all just arrive in the same location within like a reasonable time frame, that it's like, yeah, success.
Yeah, fingers crossed there.
Absolutely.
And does that mean, I feel like next week we should do in person the podcast episode?
Yeah, that might be a good one. Um,
because I don't know if I've shown you this before, so we
Fancy.
can film on that. Right, but I think that kind of brings us to the end of today's episode, right? So yeah, guys, we will see you in person next week, assuming our flights have no issues. Will, thank you so much for joining me.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Jordan.
Thanks, guys.